Photographer, your price is never the issue. The issue is you aren't offering enough for the price. If you know what to provide and how to package it, you can basically charge whatever and get the client to buy. Hi, I'm Hugo. I photograph the world full-time and I work with companies such as Sony, Adobe and Etihad Airways to name some. And now I help photographers become storytelling photographers who can make a living through their work. This is the third video in my 6-part mini-series on how to go full-time in 2026. In this video we are focusing on the 7 traits of irresistible photography offers. But before we dive in, if you'd like to get some exclusive photography insights from my photography journey, then make sure to join Focus Notes, my newsletter, from the link in the description. Over 11,000 photographers are already nominated. Alright, so to be honest, when I started my photography business, I had no clue what are the important things to focus on that would make me then successful. And only many years later, I realized knowing how to make offers was the most important thing. When I understood that, everything changed for me. And I was able to create offers that made my prospects feel stupid if they said no. And this helped me reach my first 20,000 USD cash collected month in my business. But when I started, I lost so many potential deals as I didn't know what to offer, what to give the client, and how to actually price it properly. So that's why we are now going through the 7 important traits of making offers so you can avoid some of the mistakes that I've done. Alright, so let's dive in. The 7 traits of irresistible photography offers. How to create offers that people want to buy. But before we go to the 7 traits, I want to cover a very important thing. The thing where this all starts. If you don't have this locked in the right way, then whatever you do with your offer, it's not gonna work. So let's go through that first. And that is understanding who is your one dream client. Who is the client you want to work with? Who's that? And now you might have, like, of course, many companies, many people you'd like to work with. And that's cool, keep that dream. But when you are making an offer, it can't appeal to everyone. Because if you try to appeal to everyone, the truth is, in business, it's not gonna appeal to anyone. It must be a specific thing. Your offer is a specific solution. It must be a specific solution to a specific person. So that's why you must get clear who is the dream client, whether that is an individual or whether that is a company. Who do you want to work with? And then we optimize your offer for that dream client. So get clear who's the one person or company. And then what is the one problem you are solving for them? Then what is the one path you are taking them on? So what is the exact process that you go through with them so the problem actually gets solved? And then what's the price? That out of the way, let's go through the 7 traits of irresistible photography offers. And this is the first thing. And we already did cover this now a second ago, but I still want to emphasize this point before the others. Is that it's important that you have one core solution and you don't offer too much. Okay, don't offer too much. It's easy to think, oh, if I give a client, a million photos, then it's gonna be more useful. But no. Nobody cares necessarily like how many photos you give. Like, it's not necessarily more valuable if you provide more. The thing is, you must solve a problem. That's what a client is paying you for. So understand, our dream clients have a specific problem. So you must solve a specific thing with a specific solution. And you must make it easy to understand. Okay? This is what already most mess up. They have too many offers. They have absolutely crazy deliverables. They overwhelm themselves. And then the client also gets overwhelmed. They are thinking well, what do I need this all for? So this must be simple and also easy for the client to understand. Nobody buys something that they don't understand. When people buy from me, one of the key reasons they do that is because they understand how will we work together. And yeah, this is an absolute crucial thing. So make sure you have indeed the one dream client and you are solving their one specific thing with a specific solution and you don't offer too much. That's the first thing. All right, then let's go to the second trait. Understand the dream outcome. Let's take a company as an example. A company doesn't buy photos. They buy photos because it solves a problem, right? So when we are selling and when we are presenting an offer, we can't just slap like, hey, I'm gonna give you 50 photos, because why? They don't want that. They want the problem solved. So you must get clear, like, what is the thing that they actually want? Do they want to make more money? Do they want to appear more professional? Do they want to avoid some risk? Do they want to just hire somebody to do it faster than them, that they don't waste time doing the stuff? What do they actually want? And do understand that people buy what they want, not what they need. So when you're making an offer, you also must focus on that you are indeed focusing on what they want and not also pushing things what they don't want. Focus on selling what they want, and then in the back end, you also do give what they need to actually succeed. All right, then let's take an airplane as an example. So if you are anything like me, you like traveling, and you have also seen an airplane like ads, so to say. When you think about the ads, and now if you don't think about like business class and first class, when you're thinking about like economy, like stuff, then no airplane company is focusing on like the economy seat, because it's not typically like very comfortable, right? And then when it all comes to traveling, it can be stressful. Stress of packing, going through security, there can be delays, cancellations, then you're waiting for the bag, maybe your bag gets lost. Nobody talks about that. When airplane companies are advertising their flights, they aren't focusing on the flight itself and the airport experience, they are focusing on the destination. That's why when you go to their website, they don't have like all photos about their airplane. They have photos of the destination, because people want to get to that destination. That's why people buy. So you must take the same logic to your photography offers. Get clear on what do they actually want, what do the dream clients want, and then focus on selling that thing. All right, so don't just randomly just slap photos, because that's not the reason they buy. All right, then next trait is making it easy to buy. So if it is hard to buy from you, then you will make less sales. That might sound obvious, but for some people, this is they make the buying process so difficult. So make it easy for them to, buy. Make it easy for them to contact you, and make it easy for them to take the next step with you, and make it easy to get the money to you. If they have to go through a different kind of hoops to pay you, then you will make less money. So make it easy to buy. Then number 4, speed. So understand, the faster you do things, the more you can charge. Do not charge hourly. If you do that, it is a stupid way to go about it. Sure, there are times where you can do that, like for example, for some extra work, like if you go over time. But it shouldn't ever be the starting point for your pricing. That's another conversation, but it's stupid because it does limit the amount of money you can make, and it's not fair for the client either. And understand, it's not more valuable for the client if you take a long time to get the result. All the client wants is for you to give them the result and fix their problem. So in the end, if you're faster to fix the problem, it's actually more valuable, right? So you should charge more for being fast. And when you show you can get the result fast instead of taking forever, it is much more attractive. For example, if I was about to hire somebody and I had a problem that was costing me, say, like 10 grand a month. If the person I'm hiring would take 12 months to fix it, that would cost me still like 120,000 to get the problem fixed. But if they now fix it in 1 month, then it only costs me 10 grand. And thus I am willing to pay more, because now they are fixing the thing fast. They're fixing my problem very fast. So the same thing applies to like all kind of offers. It is more valuable if you're fast, and when you can get the result faster, then the more attractive the offer is as well. So maximize the speed. How can you get the result for the client the fastest? Cool. Then don't make too good to be true offers. Like, make your offers believable and explain why you're giving such a good deal if otherwise it is not believable. So why do I mention this? Let's take a very simple example. Now, you might already know me from some of my videos, or maybe I'm a total new stranger to you. Assuming if I would be a stranger and I would say like, hey, give me $1,000 and I will return 10,000 bucks for you. No strings attached. Now you probably would be like, there must be a catch. Like, I'm not gonna give you my 1,000 because this sounds weird. It's too good to be true. The same thing is with your photography offers. If it is too good to be true, people think that something is, is wrong. Something is wrong. They must actually believe what you offer. And thus, if you're giving a very, very good deal, then explain why. And in the beginning especially, this is important because you might be offering very good deals because you want maybe more testimonials, you want more experience. Then you must explain why you're giving such a good deal, because otherwise it's not going to make sense for the client. They are going to think there's a catch. So don't make too good to be true offer. Make it believable. Then number 6, minimize the risk. This is huge. Now really, like, listening carefully. We all have a feeling of risk when we are buying anything. Sometimes it is still smaller, sometimes it's bigger. If you go to a shop and something costs like $1 or like $5, then your risk, like a feeling, is probably pretty low. That it can't go like wrong. Your life is not going to be ruined if this $5 thing doesn't work out and like isn't as you wished. But then if you spend like 10 grand and it sucks, now it can be a big hurdle to your life and lifestyle. So understand this is how your dream client is also thinking. When they are looking at your offer, they are thinking, what is my risk here? That I give you the money, and like, what's the risk I'm taking? So you want to minimize the risk. There's many ways you can minimize the risk, but overall you do want to make sure you make them feel like it is not as risky to work with you. So of course, like, some ways now can be that you showcase proof that you have actually done like what you're saying you have done. Because if they don't trust you can actually do it, then, well, they aren't gonna want to give you a lot of money. Then you could give a guarantee. I have my own opinions about the guarantees, but there's a place for a guarantee as well, especially when you're starting out. But overall, you do want to make sure you make them feel like it is not as risky to work with you. Cool. Then from there, understand urgency. So understand, if we don't give any urgency for a dream client to take the offer, then they aren't gonna take it. That's why it's very important that, one, you get them to understand why it is important they solve that problem for themselves right now and not later. And you get them to realize how much it is costing them to not fix this problem. And then you overall want to communicate that, like, your offer isn't available forever. And like, you have like other gigs, even if you don't, but you want to get the feeling, you want to give them the feeling that you aren't available forever, 24/7, because that's not attractive in any ways. And you can also offer incentives. Like, if they would start to work with you right now, maybe you give them bonus, bonus thing for them, but it's only available right now if they do this right now. For example, now, like, it was just Black Friday when I'm recording this, and many people spend money on Black Friday. And that's because there's urgency. There's this like huge discounts, and then people know it's not going to be there forever, so they go and they spend the money. But if they know that the discounts are going to be there forever, they aren't going to buy the thing. So you must have urgency in your offer as well for it to work the best way. But these overall are the main things. Let me fast recap for you. So first, have one core solution, don't offer too much, understand what does the dream client actually want, make it easy for them to buy, then maximize how fast they do get the result they're looking for, then make the offer actually believable, and minimize their risk so they feel much more confident in giving you the money, and especially a lot of money, because we of course do want to get high paying clients, especially if you're anything like me. And then give urgency, so don't show that your offer is available forever. So this is how you maximize your offer. If you want my help to make your photography offer an absolute no-brainer for your dream clients, then I can help you do so inside my Storylines mentorship. For my students, I provide something called a freedom offer framework, so they can maximize their offering. They know exactly with confidence how to price their work and what exactly to provide for their clients. And this combined is going to make the offer an absolute no-brainer. So if you're interested in getting my help, then DM me one-to-one on Instagram at Hugraphy, and let's chat if this mentorship is for you. If you don't have Instagram, then just hit the other link in the description and we'll be in touch from there. Cool, but the next video is about how to actually sell, because if you don't know how to sell, you're not gonna make any money. And most photographers don't know this. So make sure to watch that next when that is out. But before that, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and see you in the next one.